Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an updated Shop My Stash. It has been a little bit since I've updated my Shop My Stash. I really feel like I say in every video that I want to get better about this. I would love to film these every 3 weeks. It seems to be one of those videos that like I get so behind on, but this is my bathroom counter. In that stash right there, we have all of my Project Pan products, as well as just like a couple random things here and there. Over here we have some carryover Project Pan, as well as a few things that are new that I've been testing, and then also just a few items that like I personally just want to focus on that I've kind of just like put there because there's space, and indeed there's still even a little bit more space. But then we go down and we have some drawers that I house my makeup in as well. Let me scoochie. So in this drawer, we have some skincare back here. Then we have my lips and eyes. This drawer is a little chaotic right now. So let's just start here. My Jaclyn Cosmetics lid topper, I'm gonna put back. I use this once or twice, but I'm just not feeling inspired by this right now, so I'm gonna be putting this back. I have my Becca under eye brightening corrector that I'm gonna keep up here. This is something that I'm trying to finish this year. It's not officially in a project or anything, but I do keep it up here just to try and get some extra use out of it. My ColourPop Super Shock Shadow is going in a project. We have my mascaras that I'm currently using. I have way too many open right now, although I usually do have like 4 open at a time. So I have the Ilia Limitless, I have the other Ilia mascara, the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and the Urban Decay Lash Freak. Also in this drawer we have carryover lip products that shouldn't be here. I have a lash glue in here because this is the House of Lash glue. I had worn lashes. I very rarely wear lashes, but I'm gonna put this back just because I wear lashes so infrequently. It doesn't necessarily make sense for me to keep it in my everyday makeup drawer. I have the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Rose Gold. This is something that, again, not currently in a project, but I would love to finish this year. And if it's not my everyday makeup drawer, this is not going to be getting used. So I'm just going to keep that right there. Lips is a little bit overwhelming. Oh, it looks like my NYX glitter glue somehow made its way over here, as well as my Smashbox 24-hour photo finish eyeshadow primer. These are my 2 current eye primers. Lips is a little overwhelming. I had pulled lips last time, but then each time I use a lip product, I try and put it in here to like remember to tell you guys that I used. My lips are just like all over the map. I kind of just, lips are the one thing that like I'm okay with walking into another room to go pick out a lip that I want for the day. Is there anything I want to keep pulled up here? Well, I'm gonna keep this up here. This is the Kaja like lip scrub and lip balm duo. I just feel like this is a good product to have in my bathroom. What else? I didn't use any of my lipsticks, so I didn't use my Milani. There's a hair in here. Oh goodness. I didn't use my Milani teas. I didn't use my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, and I didn't use, what is this? Oh, this is a lip stain. Yeah, I didn't use that either. Okay. I did use my Lime Crime True Love once. I'm gonna put this back, but I want to make it my mission this year, especially this summer, to just have fun with like a bold lip. So this is definitely something I want to pull out again soon, but I think for right now I'll put this away, and maybe I'll keep this in. My daughter was playing with this shade, so that's why this is here, but I don't think I reached for this at all. This is Dose of Colors, of course, my shade, I think this is Bittersweet. I'm going to try and use this at least one time. Again, I want to try and have fun with some bolder colors. So maybe I'll try and also bring in another bold color to add. I have the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline, which I did not use at all. I will try and get some use out of that, so I'll keep that in. This Kaja Whipped Dream product in the shade Meringue Pink. I did actually wear this a couple of times, so I'm going to put that back. I also have worn my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Mondays a couple of times, which I'm really proud of myself for, because it's definitely not like an everyday shade for me, so I'm going to put that back. I'm leaving my Bite Beauty lip gloss French press in flat white in here. I just want to finish that off. I did take the stopper out of that, so looking to finish that off. I'm also leaving my YSL Tatouage lip stain up here. This I would love to finish off. I'm really disappointed in how many lip glosses I feel like I've finished so far this year, and really want to start pushing myself to finish off some of the products that are either smaller and should be easier to finish quickly, or products that are close to being finished. So I'm going to keep that in here, as well as the other lip products that I didn't get use out of. I did use my Lawless Forget the Filler, this little mini in the shade Blushed Sand. I want the new Lawless Forget the Filler lip shades, the two lavender collection shades. I want them so badly, but I don't need them. Anyway, I'm gonna put this, or should I leave this one out, but then I'll put my large one back. I do always want to have one Lawless Forget the Filler. I currently have 3 large, 3 minis. I'm gonna put the mini one, leave the mini one here. I'm also gonna leave, or do I want to put this back? I don't necessarily see myself getting a ton of use out of the shade. I've used it a couple times since I filmed this. Ooh. I'm gonna leave this in, because I feel like I could finish this one relatively quickly. I'm gonna leave that in. The Tower 28 Lip Jelly in Cashew I'm going to put back. I've used this a few times, as well as these 2 Kosas lip oils. I have the shade Unzipped as well as Dip. I've used these quite a bit, so I'll put these back. And then we have this drawer. I tried to organize this for myself a little bit, but let's just see what we got. I have my 2 setting sprays. I have the MAC Fix Plus, which will stay, as well as the Benefit Professional. That's going to stay. Let's pull out all of these foundations. So I have been testing out the Makeup by Mario foundation. This is definitely not a favorite of mine, and it's so light that I have to mix this with deeper shades, and just I have to mix this with products to get this to work in a capacity that I like. I've used this quite a bit though as I've been testing out, so I'm gonna put this away for a little bit. If in the summertime I have a foundation that's just not, that is too deep for me and I'm needing to mix a little bit lighter shade, maybe I'll try and get use out of this then, but I'm not loving this, so I'm gonna put this back. The Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation is too deep for me right now. And I don't feel like I'm just gonna put this back for a little bit. I will pull this back out towards spring summer. I love this foundation. It's just a little too deep for me. The Oma Beauty Say What Weightless Foundation. I have been mixing this with the Huda Glowish to kind of get a shade that works for me. The Glowish is going in my whole collection project pan, and the Oma Beauty is a foundation I would love to finish this year. So I think I will actually leave this in. Can you tell? Like, I feel like I'm making decent progress, but I also feel like I have so much of this left. This is too light for me, and not a foundation I can wear on its own, but I can mix this. So I'm gonna put this, or I'm gonna leave this in. It's not a favorite. I don't know what I want to pull for my foundations. I'm like, what do I want to do? I have been absolutely loving the NARS, what is this? The Light Reflecting Foundation. I have been in love with this lately, but I've used it a lot and feel like I should put this back. And then the Chanel I put back last update, and then I pulled it for a video and I put it back in this drawer, and I used it a few more times, but I'm ready to put that back too because I've gotten a lot of use out of that so far in 2023. Everything in these 2 cubbies, for the most part, I'm ready to put back. The NYX Plump It Right Back primer I will also put back. This I've been using a lot. I actually have made pretty decent efforts on this, and I'm working on the RMS primer now in, I think it's my Deca Panning Project Pan, which is a hydrating primer, so the 2 would kind of compete for attention. This is something I'm super excited to pull back out eventually, but I've gotten some good use out of it. I'm ready to put that back. I can't decide if I want to like leave this Milk one. I still need to finish a 3rd primer in my Makeup Rehab series before I can purchase another primer, and I feel like I've made like decent progress on this. I'm gonna keep this one in. This is the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I actually really enjoy this primer. I don't think I would purchase this in a full size, just because when I want something truly pore filling and mattifying, my favorite is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. So when I finish my other pore filling mattifying primers, I will purchase that in the future. But this is a decent primer, or a primer that I like. It's just not like an absolute fave. This Milk Makeup Hydra Grip, whatever this is, like eye primer. I hate this product. This is a hate, but I have so little of it left that I am bound and determined to finish this off rather than toss it. I'm actually gonna put this in my drawer with my eye products up there. That's just like an unofficially trying to pan product. I am going to keep the Burt's Bees Luminizer in because I didn't reach for this, and I also did not reach for this from RMS. This is the Lip to Cheek in the shade Spell. Like, this takes some warming up. But I'm going to keep both of these in for right now. I'm going to also keep in, no, I'm going to put back my Patrick Ta Duo. I've used this some, not a lot, but some. I'm going to put back my Vive Duo. I reached for this actually quite a bit, and I took this with me traveling to California, so this got a lot of use from me, and I'm ready to put that back. I am going to put back my Rare Beauty bronzing stick and grab a different cream bronzer. I used this quite a few times, especially recently, so I'm ready to give something else some love for now. I will leave my Hourglass Luminous Light Powder, and this is an unofficially Trying to Pan product as well. I'm going to put my Laura Mercier highlighter back. This is in the shade Rose Glow. I use this quite a bit, and I'm just ready to rotate something else in. Same thing goes with my Lawless blush in Angel Suede. I've used this a few times, ready to rotate something else in. I'll also put back Nabla Ozone. I reached for this a couple of times, and I really want to be better about truly rotating through all of my makeup and letting everything get a chance this year. I reached for the Bare Minerals Bronzer in Kiss of Pink at least 4 or 5 times, so I'll put this back. Same thing goes with my Vesca highlight. I actually reached for this one quite a bit, so I'll put that back. The Vive blush in the shade Piazza, I reached for this, I think like 3 or 4 times as well. I kind of had to mix this with something a little bit lighter. I would mix this with the Hourglass powder to kind of diffuse this a little bit just because it's a little bit deeper, but I actually really enjoy this blush shade. I'm excited to pull this back out at some point this summer because I think it'll give a really beautiful like nude bronzy finish to the skin. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour, I don't remember reaching for this more than maybe like 1 time, so I actually think I'll leave this in for one more rotation. This is the Hollywood, nope, the Film Star Bronze and Glow Bronzer Contour Duo. I will put back Persona Bubble. I have the stick here. I reached for this a few times, and this is something that was also in rotation like last update, so I've gotten some good use out of this, ready to put that back for a bit. Same thing, the Dior Forever foundation. I brought this with me to California and have worn this quite a bit recently. Love this foundation, but I am going to give something else a chance for right now. MAC Warm Soul. I have fallen back in love with this blush. It's just such an easy blush to use and wear because I feel like you really can't go overboard with this one. So I'm going to put this one back for a bit, but this is definitely going to get a ton of love from me in the summer as well. I was testing out these lip products that Kaja sent over. These were the like keychain, I forget what they're called, but they sent over I think all 6 shades. I kept these 3. It's like a lip stain that I think you can also use on your cheeks. It's a fine product, definitely not a favorite, but I'm ready to put all these back. I feel like I've used each shade a generous amount, and I'm just ready for some new things for the lips. This Kaja stack I have fallen in love with. This is the Play Bento. I have mine in the shade Buttercup. You get a cream bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. The blush and highlight are powder. I love the highlight shade. It's this really beautiful, like, it has like a pink hue to it. Maybe it's not coming across on camera, but I love this. But I've used this a bunch as well, so I'm ready to put that back. The Nabla Close Up Baking and Setting Powder. I absolutely love this for underneath the eyes. I've really been enjoying this. It's kind of making me feel like maybe I could fall in love with loose powder again, but I'm ready to rotate a different loose powder in to try and get some love out of something else because I've used this a ton. And then the final product in this organizer is this Merit blush in Raspberry Beret. I use this a decent amount, and I just feel like this isn't the type of shade that I want to reach for now that we are approaching the springtime. I think by the time this video goes up, it will officially be spring. So I'm ready to put this back. I am just going to leave this blush, single blush pan in and see what progress I can make all year. This is something I love to use as a blush topper, as a highlight. I depotted this out of a Smashbox palette years ago, and I'm just, I mean, if I could use this up, I don't think it'll happen this year, but I just am going to permanently keep this pulled. From LH Cosmetics, this is something I got from my sister last time I was home. It's this like blush duo she wasn't loving, and I actually really enjoyed this. Again, not necessarily, I feel like I could get away with this in the spring for like a pastel mauve look, but I've used this a lot. It definitely is more shimmery. Like if you like a matte cheek, you're not gonna love this. But I've really enjoyed getting to play around with that, but ready to put it back. The Hourglass Ghost Quad has gotten a ton of love for me recently. I've been really proud of the efforts that I've been making towards my face palettes lately. And while I don't want to put this away because I love the whole thing. I have really fallen back in love with this. I've used this a lot and I need to show some other face palettes some love. Same thing goes for the Nomad face palette. I've reached for this probably 4 or 5 times as well, for any combination of shades. Really enjoyed reaching for this. I really like the matte blush in this palette. I also love the pink highlight, but feel like I've gotten some good use out of this and should rotate in a different face palette. All right, that is everything. My eyeliners are back here and that's it. But it is time to shop my stash. Should we do face palettes first? Otherwise I'm gonna forget. Okay, here are my face palettes. They live in a basket in my bathroom. And what do I want to do? Oh yeah, this NARS I've been testing and just popped this in here. So I won't pull this again, but I really enjoy this NARS face palette. You guys know I love NARS face palettes. Let's see. I actually feel, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should pull this Blush and Glow Duo from Natasha Denona. It's been a bit since I've reached for this. Plus, I feel like this just like kind of screams spring to me. So I'll pull that. And then, do I want to pull the Cheek Duo too? Maybe. Maybe. I'll do that. And then, do I want to pull Rouge Romance? Or maybe save that for... Although using these 2 blushes maybe could curb some of my temptation for those like the Lady Gaga blushes and some of the other blushes that have been tempting me. But this feels more summer to me. So I think I'm going to pull my Moon Prism palette and try and get some use out of this. This I haven't used in a little bit and I feel like I could get some great use out of this. So I'm going to pull the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism blush palette. Okay you guys, it is time to shop my stash. I have my like makeup organizer in my walk-in closet and I feel like the lighting is not the best. So bear with me, I'm so sorry. Primers, powders, concealers. I know the concealer I'm going to grab is this one from Giorgio Armani. This is like giving me anxiety that I'm not going to finish this. Or it's just giving me anxiety because it's one of the older concealers in my collection and it's really good, but I feel like I don't use it enough. So I want to pull this and actually get use out of this because it is a very expensive concealer and I would hate for it to go bad and me to not have used it. I don't know that I'm going to pull a primer just because I have primers that I'm working on in my project that I kind of want to focus on. So I'm not going to pull any primers. I'm going to pull the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, see how I feel about this as a loose setting powder, see if we can get down with a loose setting powder. I'm not sure. And then I also want to pull this Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder. Hopefully this will match me, but I received this as like a point perk or like a free gift with purchase quite some time ago and have not tested it at all. So I want to see if I like it, whether or not I want to keep it in my collection or not. So I'm going to pull that. And then moving on. Okay, I feel like I'm at a very awkward angle. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can see. What do I want to do for foundation? I don't know. I would love maybe to pull the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. Maybe I could mix this with the Oma Beauty. Is my exposure, like, is my lighting way too bright now? Okay, there. Let's... Maybe I'll pull Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. I'm curious if this will mix well with my Oma Beauty. This is a little bit deep for me. This is getting older in my collection, and this is at least halfway gone. So I would love to finish this and have this as a foundation empty. I feel like I'm starting to get stressed out that I'm not going to have, like, a lot of... Like, I feel like a lot of my foundations now are very full. And in terms of, like, what I can empty out, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about. So I'll pull that. And then I think I'm also going to pull my Makeup Forever HD Skin and see how I feel about this one. It's been a little bit since I've used it. I do feel like this has good wear power for like work days. So I feel like it's a good one for that. I'm going to pull that. And then do I want to pull a third? Maybe I'll also pull my Nabla Skin Realist. It's been a minute since I've reached for this, but I absolutely love this skin tint. So I'll pull that, and that should be good for foundation. Moving on to bronzer. All right, moving on to bronzer. What do we want to do for bronzer, you guys? I want to pull out my Makeup Revolution cream bronzer in the shade Light and decide if this is something I want to keep or not. I feel like I used it and didn't love it, but then like didn't hate it. So I just want to figure out how I actually feel about that. And then it's been a minute since I have reached for my Chanel Le Beige cream bronzer, and this is a very expensive product. I would hate for this to not get use. So I'm going to pull that. For my powder bronzer, I'm going to pull the Victoria Beckham one. I told myself that I would pull this after I pulled the Vive one, and I got really good use out of the Vive bronzer, so now I am ready to get some good use out of the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick. Do I want to pull any more bronzer? I have so many bronzers that I'm trying to pan as well. Like, do I want to pull Marc Jacobs and just see if I can expand the pan a little bit? Do I? Maybe. Yeah, I'll pull this. I'll pull that. Okay. I feel like we have room in my drawer. What do I want the vibe to be for blush the next few weeks? I don't know. I feel like I've been picky about my blush lately, and like my blush tone preferences have just been really interesting. I'm going to pull Desert Rose, even though, yeah, I'm going to pull Desert Rose. This is like one of my favorite blushes. I'm going to pull this from Makeup by Mario. I'm also going to pull Buxom Seychelles because I have walked over to my drawer to pull this out a few times, and I'm like, I may as well just pull this into my Shop My Stash. And then what else do I want to pull for... Maybe Clinique, maybe, yeah, let's do Clinique, the Clinique Cheek Pop and Pink Honey Pop, because I feel like this has been like a vibe lately. Like, I feel like that could fit in with what I've been wanting. I'm going to pull the Bite Beauty Liquid Blush in Daycation. This is a really beautiful, like, shimmery pink blush, and I've been liking pinks on my cheek. I'm going to wait to pull corals in for a little bit longer, just because I feel like... Again, I've been really wanting like a pink cheek. Maybe I'll pull this one from R.E.M. Beauty. This is in the shade, I think, Stage Mom. It's more of like a warm neutral blush, but it's not a favorite. But I'll pull it and try and get use out of it. And, oh, I know what I want to pull. I want to pull Kosas Tropic Equinox. You guys, I was on this Sephora website, and I don't think... it's available anymore, which makes me so sad. If this starts to break me out, it probably has gone off. It is starting to smell a little bit like crayons. Don't come for me in the comments and tell me not to use it. If it doesn't break me out, I'm gonna use it. If I'm starting to get breakouts on my cheek, I'll know it's from this. I love this product, and I want to get use out of this while I can, because I don't think you can repurchase it anymore. And that is, and you know what, I'm also, this is a lot of blush, but that's okay. I'm going to pull Becca Flower Child because I just feel like this is the vibe and I want to pull it. Moving on to my overwhelming highlighter drawer. I'm going to pull ColourPop Lunch Money because it has been a while since I've used this. I'm also going to pull my Westman Atelier. No, I'm not. I'm not going to pull a cream highlight right now. Actually, I'll pull, yeah, I'm going to pull this one from Rose Inc. just because it's a little bit different, but I have a couple of champagne highlights that are currently going in projects, so I don't want to distract myself too much from them, but this one from Rose Inc. in the shade Opalescent is more of like a pinky sort of shade. It's very subtle as well, so I'm going to pull that. And then I think, should I repress my Killawatt highlight in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal by Fenty Beauty? I'm going to pull this and see what I can do with this highlight this year. I'd love to like finish off this whole side, but I don't know if that's possible. I'm going to pull it anyway. And then we're going to call it good for highlight. Okay, then we have Single Shadows. We're going farther down. Single Shadows. I think I'm going to pull... I do want to pull, I was just swatching my singles today, seeing if there's anything I want to declutter, and I swatched this from Tarte, which actually I've used way more of this than I thought I had. Like, that's a pretty significant dip. Dang, this is in the shade Top Yacht. This is a very metallic yellow gold shade, and I just didn't realize how pretty this was. So I want to pull that. I'm also going to pull Urban Decay Space Cowboy just because this is a really beautiful lid topper, and I feel like at least 2 times a week I'm doing just like a lid topper sort of shade. So I'm going to pull that. And I think I also might pull this one from Victoria Beckham. This is in the shade Tea Rose. It's a really beautiful like mauve pink sort of shade, pinky purple, and this has not gotten enough love for me, especially considering how much I paid for this. So I'm gonna pull this as well. Okay, you guys, then everything else is lip products, but I'm gonna try and not pull lip products and then just fill my container maybe with the lip products that I use and share them with you every update that way, just because I have been like nothing is certain in like my lips, and even if I have stuff pulled, I come into my closet to just grab for whatever I feel like that day. So I think I'm gonna skip shopping my stash for lip products, and I'm just gonna pull them to share with you guys during each update. So I hope that's okay. And so that then, with a very messy countertop that I need to put everything away still, that then is going to wrap it up for today's Shop My Stash video. As you can see, it's not like a super overwhelming drawer, and I feel like this year more than any other year, I'm feeling good about actually getting use out of my makeup collection. Maybe it's because I haven't brought in too many makeup products so far this year, but this feels super manageable. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's Shop My Stash video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.